Strategy is also knowing your own competency. And the only time you'll understand your own competency is when you learn who you are as a son of God. Instead of asking a damn pastor about who you are in your new resurrected life, the baptism, the life that you immersed yourself into. The baptism of fire is meant for you to immerse yourself in the love of God, which burns with a passion for you. And you know what silver does? You know how silver is refined? You know that silver is refined when you can actually see your own reflection in it. So that's the thing. God's burning out everything in you through the fiery love of the Holy Spirit that you immerse yourself into until He can see the image of Himself that He created you in to begin with. That's what you're immersing into with the baptism of fire. That comes after the baptism of water, because you begin by immersing into a new life, and then you figure out your new identity in this new life when the Holy Spirit can start refining you until God can start seeing Himself in you. And ask the Holy Spirit today, who am I? How does God see me? Does He see me as a sinner? That's the last word He'd ever use for you. If He loved the world that much that He sent His only Son, and the only thing you can do, Jesus, John 3:17 says He's not even here to condemn. He came here to save the world. You're the only ones that are condemning yourselves on a daily damn basis, saying you're a sinner, saying you're a sinner. Stop with the sinner BS, honestly. Has it proven to do any good over the last centuries that you've believed it? Has it done any good to you at all? Has it done any good to Christianity? You all created a culture of pathetic, weak believers that have brought nothing good. On the off chance that you maybe get a miracle, that you maybe get a disciple that actually believes in you. And then you get the bullshit like Mormonism and Calvinism and all these other denominations. That's the only thing that Christianity could come up with. You've divided God's own house amongst itself, and how the hell is it supposed to stand? You all created new divisions of being a sinner with every denomination you created. And that's the fruit of what you think is in being a sinner. And I say this with a very sincere heart. I love the church. The only reason I make these YouTube videos is because I love the church, and I want better for the church. There is a standard for the church, and it's laid out in Revelation chapter 2 and 3 with every letter to every church. And it's literally saying, I want you to overcome what you think your biggest sin is. And when you stop thinking about your sin, I have a prize waiting for you. You partake in my glory. You sit on my throne just as I sat on my Father's throne. That's what God's calling you to. He created you and gave you a new life to be more than conquerors, and all you can do is be more than sinners. That's what you think. It's false humility, and you need to cut the crap, honestly. Stop saying you're a sinner. This language, this lady has picked up on your BS, all of you. The lady, the only reason this video is going as long as it is because of that lady. She made a very valid point, and I agree with her through and through. You all need to cut the crap. I listen to Damon Thompson because he's not preaching about a sinner mentality. We weren't supposed to be. And every time someone came along in the past few decades and stopped this BS of sinning and sinner and I'm a sinner, God please save me, you come to Him one time for a 180-degree change. Not for all time. You know, one of the best things I ever heard, it was on another podcast that I'm actually going to recommend to you. So for those of you men that struggle with pornography, or even women, because we all know women do it too, there is something very interesting. Even if it's not that, even if it's theft, even if it's robbery, or whatever you struggle with, right? Drugs, alcoholism, whatever. She said every time you struggle with a sin, but you've had a long streak of, let's say, a few months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, instead of saying you have to start again just because of a bad week or a bad day, go back to the time where you were doing good things. Make sure it just continues in that streak. And I was like, dang, that puts a lot into perspective. Because Paul did the same thing when he says, it is not I who sins, but sin that lives in me. And then he goes on to say, it's not I, but Christ who lives in me. He's not stopping anything. He's still writing letters to the churches. He's still doing his ministry. Now, what did I say in the last video? Culture is created by language. You're creating a culture of sin in church simply by using that language. I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner. That's why I recommend the Taylor Welch podcast and I recommend Damon Thompson. And the moment you start listening to these people, the more you can come to draw conclusions of your own. And you'll be able to call out bullshit pretty fast on every pastor that's preaching about sin. And it is a defeatist mentality. It is you want to be a damsel in distress for the rest of your life. There's spiritual wars we need to take care of that even Paul articulates, and all of you will quote Ephesians 6:12 to kingdom come, but you're never going to do anything about it because your biggest problem is that you can't even overcome your own sin. The Holy Spirit in you is a gift to overcome that sin. Jesus Christ in you is a gift to overcome that sin. But instead of doing all of that, you're just going to sit there in your pathetic, miserable state and you want to call others into it. The reason I say don't fall into this sinner mentality and leave the church is because that misery of being a sinner and calling yourself a sinner only calls for more company, and it desires your company to keep you trapped in it, because misery loves company. And if you're partaking in it, you're no better than them.